teaching the "look at that" game. Use a toy or other object to capture the look behavior. Click the instant the dog makes eye contact with the object. Feed the dog right in front of you. Present the toy in different locations to keep the dog's interest. Add a cue when the dog is consistently looking at the object. Give the cue just before you move the toy into sight. With practice, the dog will give only a tiny glance at the object, then look back at you. Retrain from the beginning in several new locations, new rooms, in the yard, on the sidewalk. No cue, just click for looking. No click if the dog doesn't look at it. Add the cue back in as before.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Start again at a distance with a familiar person or moving object. The person may need to make noise at first or move around a lot to attract the dog's attention. Because we've done so much work on distraction, it takes a lot to get Lucy's attention. With most dogs new to the game, any motion will capture their attention.
Look at that.
Add the cue. Turning your head or pointing at first may help the dog know what to focus on. Wearing a hat with a brim helps to exaggerate your head motion.
Look at that. Look at that.
With more experience, the dog will choose what to look at in the distance. By now, your dog should know how to play the game, so you can try it in real life. In this case, there's a rabbit in the distance. Note that Lucy is under threshold and is able to turn back to me after the click. Add the cue back in once the dog offers looks at the trigger.
Look at the bunny.
There is a second bunny.
Look at the bunny. Look at the bunny.
Decrease the distance as the dog shows you she can stay under threshold. The lat game is easier if the trigger moves and the dog stays in one spot. This dog was a bit too close, but Lucy handled it well. To keep her occupied, I held on to the treat a little while. Practice moving past a stationary trigger from far away before decreasing the distance. In this session, I started too close to the dog and Lucy felt the need to go sniff as the dog moved away. Luckily, she's still under threshold and able to respond to me. Make it a little harder by moving past a moving trigger. Moving and looking is like walking and chewing gum. See how quick the look can be once the dog knows how to play the game? That can be used on other dogs when they're whining, barking, jumping, running, etc.
Yes. That's hard.
Just make sure that your dog is far enough away so she's still well under threshold.
Yes. Awesome.
With a little redirection, she can still respond to me so she's still under threshold. The second dog gets rewarded periodically for just staying calm. Lap can be used with people, things blowing, moving or noisy objects, and anything else that your dog might be worried or excited about. You can also use lap to warn your dog that a trigger is coming towards her or will be appearing from behind a wall, etc. Here's a hand cue.
Oh, and you too, Jeff. You did good. Good girl.
When in doubt, distance is your friend. Be creative and have fun with lap.